Aaron, front center, Coach.
Hey, Coach. Aaron Brenner, Columbus Ledger-Inquirer. Auburn's offense had a lot of struggles this season in a new pro-style set. How much did you get a chance to watch Auburn either during the season or even in the past few days, and what needs to change for next year?
Yeah, I got a chance to watch very little. I mean, when you're a coach at another team, I mean, you don't have time to watch other teams and TV and all that. So I watch very little.
Back left.
Gus, Mike Rada again. I was just curious, have you spoken with Coach Chiswick since he was terminated here? And what were your thoughts as you watched this team struggle, having known everybody on the staff and most of the players on the field? What were your thoughts this fall in terms of any empathy for them?
I've not got a chance to talk to Gene since that, but I will. You know, from afar, I take a lot of pride in Auburn, and I was hurting for him, and I was hurting for him.
Front right.
Gus, Ryan Wood with the Opelika Auburn News. Obviously, you're very familiar with Gene Chiswick, and you know that it's only been 2 years since he won a national championship here. For him to be fired within those 2 years, was security a question that arose during this interview process with you?
No, you know, all I'm worried about is what I'm doing moving forward and getting this thing turned around and getting to a championship level. And that's the only thing on my mind, and we're going to get it done. And, you know, obviously there's going to be some challenges, but here's the good thing about it. I know those challenges. I'm very familiar with the personnel, and we're going to get this thing turned around.
Coach Rick Carley, Fox 6, I think you just answered my question. I'll ask it anyway. What would you tell the Auburn Nation, the Auburn family, the one message you want to give them after a tough season? It's been tough. You saw some of the fans leaving games, etc. What's your message?
It's a new day. It's a new day, and my goal is to get Auburn back to a championship level. And like we said 2 years ago, we won a championship. And the expectations of Auburn is to win championships. And so that's my goal, and we're going to do everything in our power to get that done.
Gus, let me get back here. I'm wondering how involved you are defensively, how much you were with Arkansas State. Do you want to hire a guy and kind of leave it be? You focus on offense? I know you have ultimate oversight, but how do you
Well, I think as a head coach, you have to have a philosophy, and your offense, your defense, and your special teams all has to fit in that philosophy. And like I said, we will be a fast-paced, attacking style offense and defense. This day and time, I believe you have to. And so I will be on top of every area of our team at the same time. Our coaches will be able to coach, but I will be on top of all areas.
Coach Bill Cameron with Tiger Communications, sort of tag teaming on that, following that up. I know you said you're going to take your time, but defensive coordinator, do you have some folks in mind, and any kind of sort of timetable as to when you might do that?
Yes, the coordinators are obviously the priority, and that's the goals we'll go after first. And I do have some people in mind, and we'll definitely visit with them.
Raise your hand if you have a question. We have a back to center.
Coach, Zay Hakeem with Comcast Sports Southeast. What was your reaction when you arrived at the airport? You saw the various Auburn fans that were there to greet you.
It was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable experience. The Auburn fans are the best in the country, and it hit me right when our plane landed, and we saw how many people were there, and it was just it's an unbelievable experience.
Gus, how long have you been talking to the committee, and when did you make the decision that you really wanted to take the job?
Things happened pretty quick. I believe everything's happened probably in the last 3 days, and it was, I believe, mid-afternoon.
Gus, this is Mike again with the Opelika Auburn News. It's been a rapid ascent in your career from 6-7 years ago, coaching high school football, from a coordinator to a head coach now at an SEC program. Just talk about that. Just that change in that time period.
Well, first of all, I've been very blessed. In every spot that I've been in, I've been fortunate enough to have great administration, great coaches around me, great players, and the situation is no different. And I feel very blessed to be where I'm at.
John, up front.
How much of an advantage is it just in the transition in the short term to have some guys who've already played in your system
guys you recruited for that system?
I think it's a huge advantage from that standpoint. And not only the offensive guys, I'm very familiar with a lot of the defensive guys, either watching them, helping them recruit. So I'm very familiar with this team. And so I think that will go a long way.
Jason?
Gus, you talked about having philosophy like on offense and defense. Do you have a particular defensive scheme in mind, a 4-3-3-4, or will that kind of depend on what kind of guy you're looking for?
Well, it's got to be multiple. This day and time of just playing one front is extremely tough with all these spread, wide open offenses, and I think you've got to be able to do both, odd and even, and that's what gives offenses the most trouble.
Gus, back here in the middle, sorry. This team had three starting quarterbacks this year, one of them sitting right here in the front of the room. There may or may not be somebody else joining that group. You certainly were part of recruiting some of these young men. Are you able to say at this time who you believe or who you think the starter will be for next season?
No, I have no idea. All positions will be open. I do know that we've got some guys that can execute our offense and that are familiar with our offense.
Philip?
Guys, Philip Marshall, Auburn Undercover. Will you call the plays and those things as you have done in the past?
I will be helping with offense. I can't tell you at this time that I'll actually be calling the plays, but I will be involved. That's
Coaching quarterback.
Gus, Christina Chambers, NBC 38. Just kind of talk about, did you go to Hugh Freeze for any advice since you guys kind of had a similar path?
Me and Hugh Freeze go way back. We started college football, I guess, the same year, and we're former high school coaches, and so we talk quite a bit, and we bounce things off each other, and we talk quite a bit to answer your question.
We'll take a few more. Front.
Coach Bill Cameron again. Speaking of timetables, things like that, where do you see Auburn as far as talent-wise, since you're as familiar as you are with it, being able to turn this thing around?
Well, we do have some talent, and we have some deficiencies. And what I've got to do is identify the deficiencies and address those immediately. And also the mindset. The mindset and expectations physically and mentally of our players. So we got some work to do, but I know the areas we need to improve on, and we're going to address those.
Aaron.
Coach Aaron, again, Ledger Inquirer. I don't know how closely you've looked at next year's schedule, but you'll have a familiar opponent in week 2 with Arkansas State.
Yeah, how about that?
Any early thoughts about that matchup?
Yeah, that's pretty ironic. How that works, and they're going to be a very good team.
We'll take one more before handing it over to Jay Jacobs. Mike?
Gus, I know you don't sleep a lot, so how with everything that's going on, when you got hired at Auburn, you were at Tulsa and you were doing the double duty there, and then obviously last year in the bowl game doing double duty, and if you do double duty again, how do you keep up? And kind of where are you going to stay grounded as far as it comes to just what you're going to do at Auburn and how you're going to be able to...
Well, like I said earlier, we had to cross that bridge regarding the other thing, but there won't be a lot of sleep. This is a very fun time of year to be coaching, and I don't need much.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. We're going to turn it over to Jay Jacobs now.